What does it avail you to speak profoundly about the mysteries of God and the Holy Trinity if you don't have humility? The Imitation of Christ says, "In truth, sublime words make not a man holy and just, but a virtuous life makes him dear to God." I would rather know what contrition feels like than know its definition. In truth, if you knew the whole Bible by heart and the sayings of all the philosophers, what would it profit you without the love of God and His grace? I think that's a great question. Welcome back to Searching the Archives. Today we're going to be taking a look at The Imitation of Christ by Thomas Kempis. Originally published in the 1400s, Thomas Kempis wrote The Imitation of Christ, which went on to become one of the most well-loved Christian books of all time. I've read that it's second only to the Holy Bible itself in terms of popularity, but I have seen that quoted about other books, so I'm not entirely sure how true that is. Nonetheless, it is very popular. It's well-loved by Protestants and Catholics alike, and I think it's worth taking a look. So, The Imitation of Christ is not an easy book. It's like a spiritual sweeping of a dusty house, and that dusty house is your interior life. This book will challenge you. It's a collection of wisdom, basically short little chapters, divided into four main sections. The four sections follow almost a sort of progression. It starts with section 1. It's all about fleeing the worldly distractions, the worldly affairs, the things that get in the way of you attaining a better prayer life and communion with God. The second section is a little bit more interior focused, okay? Helping you achieve that inward peace, that purity of heart, a good conscience, very much getting that fire burning deep inside. The third section, then, it kind of changes completely. It's almost a mystical dialogue between Christ and the disciple. It kind of reminds me in some ways of St. Catherine's dialogue, St. Catherine of Siena, but it is different. I wouldn't say it's the same. And then the fourth section is entirely about the Blessed Sacrament, the pinnacle of the Christian life. I would say in summary, this book is very much about emptying ourselves of the baggage. I was listening to a priest, Father Larry Richards, talk about fasting once, and he made the point that fasting isn't about a heroic act of courage, to prove ourselves to God or to prove how tough we are to ourselves. It's not about how hard we push ourselves. It's rather about emptying ourselves so we can fill up with the love of God. If you're doing it for any other reason, you're missing the point, essentially. I'm paraphrasing. Incidentally, Father Larry Richards has an amazing talk called Be a Man. Whether you're a guy or a girl, you need to check this talk out. It will light you on fire. I'll leave a link to it right now. So, like I said, this book is extremely popular. There are many different translations. I have two here with me. I have one, the Bishop Challoner translation. He is the same bishop who revised the Douay-Rheims Bible. And I have the Monsignor Knox translation, which, as you may know, he translated single-handedly, the Knox Bible. When you read the Imitation, there are scripture verses scattered all throughout all these chapters, these short chapters. So you will start to have scripture repeated to you, and it will help you to memorize it. If you prefer a little bit more of a classic sound, a little bit of oomph and force and power in the scriptures, I would recommend to you Bishop Challoner's translation. If you're looking for a fresh take, a more nuanced and delicately put rendition, something that will give you a new way of looking at a scripture. Sometimes when we hear the same scriptures over and over again, we can almost like glaze over and not really hear them, if you know what I'm saying. Then I would recommend to you Knox's translation. Both are great translations. I can recommend them both. If you force me to choose just one, I think I would take the Bishop Challoner version, just for that classic sound. But I've heard the Confraternity of the Precious Blood has a great translation. I've heard there's great modern translations with no these and thous. If you are adverse to these and thous in Elizabethan English, do not pick this up. You will be disappointed. So I hope that helps somewhat. You won't go wrong if you pick up this book. I promise you. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you got something out of it. And if you like this kind of thing, please like, subscribe, and comment. I'd love to hear from you, and have a great day.